Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the in-game stats of certain players, how they're going to perform in-game. A lot of people don't really like when I make these videos, so I have to I feel like I might have to explain it every time I make them. Guys, when I look at the stats of a player, almost every single time, if not every single time, a player will always feel what their stats show that they are. At least for me, it's different for everybody. It's not always the case for everybody, but when I play FIFA, when I see certain stats about a card, I know whether or not I'm going to like him before even trying him out in game. It's always been like that with me in FIFA. The only times that has been different was one year where Keita Balde got a Team of the Season card, and the card was way more garbage than his than what his stats suggested, because he was supposed to be way better in terms of dribbling, and he wasn't very good, right? But we are going to do a review for the Futmas cards. There's Player of the Month Royce. If you guys want me to do an in-game review for him, I'll definitely look into that too. We're not necessarily going to build the squads for all these guys, because I think the squads are pretty, I would say pretty generic in terms of what you can put them in, but we are going to review them to see which ones are worth getting. I don't know the prices of the cards. I know someone told me that Lucas Torreira was 30K, and to be honest, man, with those stats, you cannot go wrong with 30K. I actually might consider getting this card myself. Medium high work rates. And he moves like that with good defensive stats. You know what, dudes? No jumping and strength, but on the ball, off the ball movement is fantastic with him. I actually might get Torreira's card. I still need to get Lerma's card here too, who's chilling in here somewhere. I think these cards are available for 24 hours, so you have 18 hours from me doing this video right now for you guys to be able to pick them up. So we're going to see which ones are worth getting and which ones are not worth getting. Torreira right off the bat, get that card. Not even a question asked. Zaha, I think very similar situation. If I go search up his, let me go search up his card stats that he'll get in general, because like, dudes, the pace, the dribbling with Zaha is really fast, right? They increase his finishing and composure, which is a very big deal, because if we look at his finishing from before, right, we'll look and see that his finishing was 77 with 81 composure, but now he has 81 finishing, which makes a difference, right? So if the card is cheap to get, then it would definitely be worth getting that too. So let me see what the requirements for this are. The requirements is a 84 rated team chemistry 90, team of the week players minimum 1, minimum of 6 Premier League players. You know what? That's actually not bad, guys, to be honest with you, because Zaha, a good version of Zaha's card is nice to get, because like I said, his last version is an 82. Is he going to get an inform? He's a good player in the Premier League. I don't know how often he'll get an inform playing for Crystal Palace, but we'll see how that works out, right? So we're going to go ahead and review the players. Gomez, I would also say, is worth getting, guys, because in the Serie A, there's not many good attacking players, and to be honest with you. In terms of the characteristics of, you know, agility and just quickness on the ball, there's not really many players like that. There's Dybala, there's Douglas Costa, but these guys, Dybala's good, but Dybala doesn't have that weak foot. Alejandro has that weak foot, right? The card looks fantastic. I think with this card, obviously the things that you'll notice with it is basically the height and the physical presence. He won't have any whatsoever, but if he is off and on the ball, he will move really nicely left, right, and center. So I think in that regard, it is definitely worth picking up the card, because it's always nice to get players that are quick on the ball to kind of counter a little bit the slowish gameplay. So it's nice to have a player like that. Obviously 96 acceleration, 87 sprint speed with high medium work rate. So again, 96 acceleration, low center of gravity, because he's 5'5" with 94 agility, 96 balance, good dribbling stats in general. This guy is never going to do like those really heavy animations. Like, he will do the touch, that emphasis touch, right? But he won't do that like, oh, I'm off balance kind of animation, right? So in that regard, he'll be really good. Increase that shot power, finishing, and long shot. I would probably suggest giving him a finisher, because I think finisher is the one that increases the shot power and the long shot by 15. As you guys know, finesse shots are very effective, so increasing the shot power for those finesse shots would be very nice. Increasing the finishing as well would also be very good. This card looks fantastic to use as a cam. Wouldn't necessarily use him as a striker. It's very, very crappy situation to use this small of a striker up top, but you don't really have that much choices this year. Most of the strikers that are decent are pretty short in their own way. I have Aguero, and Aguero is short with not enough acceleration and sprint speed, but it is what it is. Gomez's card, being from the Serie A, this card is worth getting because, honestly, it looks dope. And if I look at Gomez, he plays for Atalanta. Don't know how in form Atalanta is, because you're going to make the comparison between his 86 and his 84. If the cards aren't that expensive to do, they're worth getting, right? It's Futmas too. You're celebrating the season. Really cool concept. Like I said, someone told me that Lucas Torreira costs like 30k, so I'll probably do that card myself. Lucas Torreira's card. Let's check out this bad boy. This card looks really good, right? So obviously the things that you'll be missing 100% that's going to be very noticeable in the card, right, is the fact that his jumping, heading accuracy, strength, and height is a huge problem, right? Because he's 5'6", 5'6", with no strength, no jumping, no heading. So the physical aspect of his game is completely eliminated. 86 interceptions is good, but it needs to, like, to be honest, with that height, it needs to be like in the mid 90s at the very least for it to be really good. But I will say this card is gonna move around the midfield for you like an absolute god. The things you will notice: defensively, the stats are decent, but he may not be that good. He may not be. This is a tryouts type of card, right? When you have stats like this, medium high work rates as a CDM player with the 4-star skill moves. You can't really go wrong with that. Big problem with the card, though, 56 finishing is very, very low. There's going to be moments where you're going to want to shoot the ball and he's not going to be very good at it. But the thing about this card, right, he doesn't have the finishing, but he does have shot power and long shots, right? So if you're going to take any long shots with him, he'll be pretty decent at doing that. And the shot power is a very, like, underrated stat. People never look at shot power. Shot power is very, very important for those finesse shots, right? It's literally so important for those finesse shots. Mane's 80 shot power or something like that is not good enough. It's very inconsistent, right? If you have the finishing and the shot power, very, very helpful for those finesse shots, right? Looks like a fantastic card. He's from Arsenal, so Premier League. Everyone uses Premier League teams, right? Premier League teams are usually the go-tos in terms of making somewhat of a meta team. So he looks awesome. He has the aggression, right? So small player that's aggressive, that moves left and right like a god. 97 balance with 5'6" will make him move and transition so quickly. Like he's gonna move like this. He's not gonna go boom, boom. He's gonna go like this, bro. He's gonna be like vibrating back and forth. How fast he'll transition left to right when you're using your left stick. So that's a big attribute that's gonna be very helpful in terms of general control, because he does also have like 80 reactions, 85 ball control, so on and so forth. So pretty decent if you are going to be using him in the CDM spot. So far, two very good SBCs, right? Alejandro Gomez and Lucas Torreira. I'm not looking at the price because whether it's worth it is completely entirely up to people, right? I'm just reviewing the in-game stats. Awesome cards. I think they each bring their own value to the leagues and the clubs you can make with them, like Alejandro Gomez, Calcio, or Serie A. Not many players like him. And the same thing with Torreira. Torreira, you can get Lerma, but Lerma won't be similar to Torreira. Torreira is going to move transition really, really nicely left and right. So to make the comparisons, it's Torreira, Conte. Conte's 400k, so I mean, you know. Lerma, Ndidi, Fernandinho, right? Nobody else. There's like high work rate players, but it's nice to have that medium high in that position, right? There's Fabinho, who's medium, but I wish Fabinho was medium high. If he was medium high, he'd be way better than he is right now. And last but not least, Wilfried Zaha. Guys, this card, I don't know. Listen, I don't know how often this card will get informs this year because we know that he's a good player in real life, right? I don't know how often he's going to get informs. And I don't even think he's gotten one yet, right? But I'm telling you this right now, this card is going to be so much fun to use, okay? I really do recommend it. And I'll explain why, right? 5'11", great height for an attacking player, right? Doesn't have the weak foot, big problem, sucks. It is what it is, right? Here's the thing, though. 5-star skill moves is always really nice to have in FIFA. It's fantastic to have in FIFA, to be honest, right? Movement on the ball. Reactions and ball and balance are very noticeable on his card, right? But not enough for you to not use it because he makes up for it with the high agility and the ball control and dribbling. He makes up for it, right? But you can tell with his balance, it's the way he dribbles on the ball because of his height kind of goes off a little bit, right? Again, With this card, I'd probably give him a sniper, to be honest. Increase that balance and agility as much as possible, so this guy's just moving around the pitch, right? Give him that finishing and shot power as well would be very helpful. He already has the pace. So the good thing about cards like this, right, when they have 93 pace, is that you don't need to upgrade it even further, right? Because as you guys know, if you upgrade to a 99 and a 99, yeah, pace in certain situations will be nice, but most of the times your players get caught up because defensive AI can catch up to the players really quickly. That's just that balance that EA has created where the defenders can catch up to the attackers really easily. So, you know, because he already has the pace and you don't have to upgrade it, which is fantastic, I would give him cards to increase his shooting and his composure, because composure and shooting are two very big things. You can use this as a cam. His passing is not going to be great in the long passing positions, but if you do use him in a 4-2-3-1 narrow where he is being used as your left cam, I think this card will be a lot of fun to use. I think he'll be a ton of fun to use. I think in general he'll be a lot of fun because dribbling on the ball will be fast. At times it'll feel a little bit weird because of the bounce and the reactions, right? He has a very decent physical stature in game with good physical stats, aggression, strength, and stamina. Stamina 78 is a little bit low, but it is what it is. Strength and aggression is great, right? Short passing is great. So I think that if you're playing him in a narrow formation where you're playing a possession-based football where people are around him and he can transition left and right really quickly, I think he'll be an awesome card to use. I think it's another card that's definitely worth getting. I feel like EA should have increased his stats in certain areas a little bit more. Because my opinion about these card stats is basically this, right? When they release these cards, I always feel like EA should take into consideration their game mechanics when they are improving the cards. If people are so anal about playing to a card's characteristics, they could just use the rare gold cards. But for Ultimate Team, when you start increasing your cards and increasing the informed versions, let's start giving some stats to these players to make them feel better and usable so that more players are more, desirable to use, right? Like, for instance, his volleys, penalties, and long shots aren't very good, right? Let's up those by like 3 and 4 every single time, even 4. I would think a minimum of 4 for the long shots, volleys, and penalties wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, right? Let's try to increase those things once you start getting into the special versions of the cards, because you want to make most of your cards very usable in the game. Is he usable? Yes. But can he be a little bit better? Of course, right? Increase the stats. That would be helpful. His stamina, just give him 84. Just give him 84. It doesn't matter. It's a special version of his card. Don't be so anal about it. Just give him the 84 stamina so he's a more usable card in the game, right? And that's pretty much it. Honestly, I think all 3 of them are pretty good in their own way. Will I do any of them? I don't know. My 2 CDMs right now is Alon and Fabinho, and I don't really know if I want to use Torreira in regards to that. There's Alejandro Gomez, and then there is Wilfried Zaha. Honestly, they're 3 good Futmas cards. I don't think they're shit in any regard. I just think that there are specific stats that could have been improved on the cards, absolutely, but pretty good Futmas cards in my opinion. I think they, personally though, I think they should have upgraded them by 3 or 4 ratings. Right? More. So instead of an 82 Torreira, you get an 85. Give him some good stats in certain areas, like his shooting is a 70, but is it really 70 when it's 56 finishing? Let's give him like a 67. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not be so anal about these specific stats to make the players really nice, right? Everything else, you have his characteristics down. He doesn't have physical presence, doesn't have jumping, that's fine. But finishing and stuff, your finishing is already really bad in FIFA. Let's just give him the finishing, you know what I mean? And stuff like that, right? But the cards look awesome. Can't really complain about them. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want to see me do more of these for the next special versions of cards when they do release, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys watched the last video in terms of what I think would make FIFA a better game, because that was the earlier upload today, 5 hours ago. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.